Hi, this is Happy Bird from happybirdscraftinghaven.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make some really cute wreath ornaments out of Mardi Gras beads. Now, I'm sure that many of you have some Mardi Gras beads kicking around your house somewhere, and I figured I would show you something cute that you can do with this. Now, as you know, Mardi Gras beads, you're kind of limited as to the crafts that you can make with these because you can't cut them apart. They're fused, the string is fused on the inside. So the type of Mardi Gras bead you're going to need is you're going to need the beads that are all the same size. See, these are all uniform in size, so those will work just fine. The Mardi Gras beads that you want to stay away from when making this project look like this. Hold on. Okay. Now, you don't want to use something like this where they're all different sizes because it won't work out very well for this project. And then you're going to need two different colors or shades of chenille pipe cleaners, and I like to use white with one other color because I think it gives it a better frame. You'll see what I'm talking about. But of course you can use two different shades of purple if you would like, or something like that. It's up to you. It depends on your individual choice. The pipe cleaners that I would stay away from are the tensile stem kind, that the kind that are made with aluminum, because for this project it doesn't work quite as well, and I'll show you why as I start making it. Okay. Alright. And of course you'll need a low temp hot glue gun and some sheer ribbon. This ribbon is 7/8 of an inch wide. I wouldn't use any wider than that. I think that's a good size, or a little smaller. Okay. Now I decided, before I start, I'm going to show you what some of them look like that I made. Okay. The first one that I made to be kind of blingy, and this little wreath here, and I just attached this charm that I made with a little 10mm jump ring right here in the middle. And if you look at the back, all I did was glue on a little bail with some E6000, and then I attached two 6mm jump rings on the 10mm right there. And I added just a little tiny bit of iridescent glue on the white parts in between. I don't know if you can really see it or if the camera will pick it up. And I just used a glitter glue. I used Stickles for this particular one. And this was just a flat back rhinestone button. It's not metal, it's acrylic. And I bought it off the seller on eBay that I use, but you can purchase yours from anyone on eBay or elsewhere. I just like his prices. And this is the little wire ribbon that I just showed you. Put a little embellishment here, and I just touched the edges here with Aleene's No Fray. If you don't have No Fray, you can just take a tiny bit of white glue and dab it like this, and it'll do the same thing. It'll dry clear. So of course I'm going to be slipping a piece of gold, or excuse me, silver beading thread in there to hang on the Christmas tree. But I just wanted to show you this first. And then I made a second one. This one had a theme to it. Let me give this to my sweet daughter-in-law. And this is a little Minnie Mouse, and I used one of the beads that to me looked like it kind of went along with that theme. And some ribbon here. And that's just an acrylic heart flat back that I bought during Valentine's Day at the Dollar Tree. I had a whole package of different sizes. And I used the red and the white pipe cleaners with the silver Mardi Gras beads. So I thought that turned out kind of cute. And this little Minnie Mouse was a dress it up button. And I cut the shank off. And I filed it down with just a regular nail file, which was very easy to do because this is plastic. And I just put a little E6000 on the bail, put one here and put one there, so I could attach the little charm. And you can buy pre-made charms if you're not into jewelry making and you don't want to take the time to learn how. You can definitely go to Michael's and pick up little beads like similar to this that are already pre-made and they sell on cards. Okay, and then I made this one right here. I just used all white and I put just a touch of glitter in between here and there. Not a whole lot, just enough to give it a slight shine. And I used some ribbon. And this was a little flat back embellishment I bought from Recollections. It was a sticky back, but I took off the sticky foam part on the back and just put it on with E6000. And then on the back of this, now I used a little larger bail here because I made this before I discovered those real thin bails that I told you about and showed you in my miniature tea set necklace video. And so that's why I put one on that's a little more bulky. But I did put tacky glue, turbo tacky glue in the back here and put some glitter, and when that dried thoroughly I just put a very thin coat of the Mod Podge Super Gloss so it wouldn't shed, because I like glitter to stay put. I don't like it to shed. And so I thought that turned out kind of pretty. And then my last one here that I want to show you, I used a little reindeer dress it up button, and if you look close you notice his nose is red. It didn't come that way in the package. I just took a red Sharpie and colored his nose to make him look like Rudolph. And I just cut the shank off the back on that one. I can file that down and I might just do that later. And you know, I used of course the green and the red pipe cleaner, and this ribbon here is a little more narrow, but I really liked the way it matched, so I used it, and I put another little embellishment on the front there. So I thought that turned out pretty cute. Now earlier I mentioned not to use the aluminum tencel stems or pipe cleaners, and for this reason. When you use the chenille pipe cleaners, you can see a definition here. You can see like a scallop edge. Well, I tried using the tencel stems and it just didn't look right because the scallops were not defined, because the tencel stems have the little spiky tencels sticking out all over the place, and so it wasn't defined, and it just did not turn out well. So I just kind of want to forewarn you there about that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to use purple and the white, and for this size Mardi Gras bead, I'm estimating it that it's about maybe a 6 millimeter. I cut 24 of these off, 24 beads. So I'm going to hold this like so, even it up at the top, and you notice how I have the beads in the middle, in between? Well, I'm going to, right here, make a twist, half turn, and another half turn. That makes a whole turn. And you might be thinking, well, this looks kind of icky sitting out there like that. Well, don't worry. By the time we finish, it'll look really nice. But we needed something to anchor this to, okay, so we can work with this. So the next bead, if you notice, I'm holding with I'm right-handed, so with my right thumb, I'm holding this bead and I'm twisting a half turn, another half turn, okay. Next one, half turn, and you just do that all the way down. Half turn, half turn, half turn, half turn, half turn, half turn, and you're always holding the next bead as you're doing this. And you can kind of take note. Now see the white, I'm trying to keep that on top. That's how you can tell you've done your half turns correctly. Okay. Oops, something's not right here. So I'm going to go ahead and undo this real quick. Okay. Okay, here we go. Half turn, half turn, half turn, half turn. And I just do this all the way down. It's very easy. It goes pretty quick. There's so many different color combinations you can use too. There really are no rules with this as far as the way you can decorate them. Now, as you can see, I came to the end and I do have a few more beads left, but that's okay. That's fine, because what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take a nipper tool and I'm just going to cut off that last bead like so. So you're going to have what looks like this sticking out, and then of course you got this end bead that I told you about that I had to use to anchor everything down. I'm going to cut that off too. Okay? Alright. Now, that end bead that I cut off, I'm just going to make sure this is twisted like so. And I'm going to take my flat nose pliers, just kind of mash the wire down like that so it doesn't stick or poke anyone. And I'm going to do the same thing with this. Just going to kind of twist the ends here. And I'm going to squeeze all the wires down here. And I'm going to leave a little bit of this on here, but I'm going to cut a little bit off like this. Okay, so you'll have a piece there. Now, it doesn't look like much, but I'm going to be forming this circle, and I'm going to keep the white on the top. So I'm going to start at the end, and I'm just going to start straightening it like this and bending it into a circle, like so. Yeah. And don't try to start in the middle bending it, because it won't form as nicely. I'm going to go back and do the same thing, make sure that I'm forming this, and you can feel that the beads are in there nice and tight. Okay, then you're going to kind of look at your circle and decide which side looks the best. Is it this side or is it this side? I think this side looks the best, so I'm going to keep it there like that. And then I'm going to take my low temp hot glue gun and I'm going to put a fairly good amount here, and I'm going to place the other end like that. And you might be thinking, well, that looks pretty crummy right there. Well, you're right, it does, but we will be covering it up with a bow, so we're not going to worry about that. So I'm just going to kind of hold it there for a few seconds and make sure that it's nice and snug. And it is low temp, so you shouldn't burn yourself if you touch it. There. And I also lay it flat like that too, that helps. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is set this aside, and I'm going to make a bow. And I think a bow with some kind of a design or pattern to it really looks nice. My scissors. And I probably cut a little too much ribbon for that, but honestly, I'd rather have a little too much ribbon to work with than not enough. Nothing drives me more crazy than trying to make a bow and being short on the ribbon and then really struggling to make that bow. So I'm going to pull this through, and I'm going to look at it and make sure I twist everything to look good in the front. And as you all know, I'm not the best when it comes to making bows, but I am trying a little harder, so. And this will look nice by the time I'm finished. The wire ribbon, you can always form it. Okay, I think that will do. I just have to form it a little bit, like so. Here's one side, and here's the other side. Like so. And there's the front. Now I'm going to cut these at an angle, both sides. See if I can do this even. Most of the time I have one that's longer than the other. Not bad. Okay, so you can use the Aleene's stop fray, so you can put that at the, dab this at the bottom to stop any fraying. If you don't have this, you can certainly use a little dab of any kind of white glue that dries clear. I'm just going to put a little tiny bit on my finger here, and I'm just going to dab this all the way along the line here. I didn't open that all the way. Okay, so and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay. Put a little dab of the no fray. Okay. And just gonna do that. Alright. And like I said, that will dry clear. So now I'm gonna take just a little bit of hot glue and put it right there where we connected it before with the low temp hot glue, where it looked kind of icky. And I'm going to glue this right on there. I'm going to hold it for a few seconds. Here we go. sure that everything looks nice. Okay, so I decided I was going to put another fancy bling in the center. So I took a button that to me could look like a snowflake, and I cut the shank off as close as I could, and because I didn't want anybody getting stuck with what was left of the shank, I just put a tiny bit of E6000 in there in the center and put some glitter, and it ended up looking pretty. Now if you look real carefully, if you notice this, I don't have to glue any bails on this because there's openings in this snowflake. So I'm going to use my jump rings and just slide it on through. And so the first thing I did was I took my 10mm jump ring and I put a 6mm jump ring right here. So now I'm going to take a second 6mm jump ring and I'm going to open it up and I'm going to slide it through a hole right here. Any one of these holes will do. I'm going to have to open it up a little bit wider though. Okay, now it's hooked, and I'm going to hook that onto the other 6mm jump ring, and I'm just going to close it here with my fingers. Make sure it's closed. Yeah. Okay, so as you can see, now we have the 10mm jump ring with two 6mm jump rings that are hooked. Now at the very bottom of this, I thought it would be nice to make a little acrylic charm with a couple of daisy spacers, and I hooked that onto a 6mm, and I'm going to hook this onto the bottom right here that is directly below as a little dangle charm. So I'll see how that works out because I haven't really tried this ahead of time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close this up. Make sure it's nice and closed. So now we have something that looks like that. Okay, so now we have to hang this on to our wreath at the very top in the center. Okay, and I want to make sure that the front of this, that you can see when I put this in the center. In fact, I think I can just do this with my fingers. It might be easier. Alright, so I think this is the center right here. Okay, make sure that when I close it, I'm going to close it with my fingers, and then I'll pick this up and finish it off. Okay, so now it's there, and yes, that's the front. Okay, so I think it turned out kind of pretty. It's kind of hard to see when I do like this with the camera. Maybe I can turn the camera upwards a little bit. Yeah, and then I can show it to you. Yeah, see? And then of course I'll take some beading thread and slide it through here. So I think it turned out really cute though. So I hope you really enjoyed this project, and I will be posting pictures of all these on my blog. Just have fun with them and enjoy yourself, and I hope yours turn out really well. And if you would like to send me any kind of pictures of your projects, you can always email me at happybirdscraftinghaven@gmx.com. That's happybirdscraftinghaven@gmx.com. And I check it usually about once every few days, so I would love to see your projects. Okay, I'm gonna do a downward shot. I don't know, it's kind of dark. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you, and God bless you all. Bye-bye.